And welcome to Hamden, Connecticut, here on Bracket Builder Week, presented by Dish. Siena Saints leading the Quinnipiac Bobcats 4-0 with just over 2 minutes gone by. Friday night action in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Here's who's on the floor for Siena and Quinnipiac. Rob Poole, leading scorer for the Saints. On the other side, Zaid Hurst. 18 points a game to lead the Bobcats this season. Ed Cohn with the former Hofstra head coach Mo Casara. These two teams vying for better positions in the MAC Championship, which starts next week on Siena's home floor in Albany, New York. And right now, Javian Oganyemi with a couple of baskets so far, and the Saints with the early 6-2 lead.
Javian Oganyemi playing so well for the Siena Saints. One of the better field goal percentage guys in the league. Second coming in.
Both these teams trying to snap 3-game losing streaks here tonight. Quinnipiac falling to Canisius on Saturday. Siena fell to Manhattan in the close of a 3-game homestand over the weekend. And a strong take by Justin Harris, and the senior with his first points.
There's some big bodies around that basket tonight, partner. I'll tell you what, both teams strong and aggressive around the basket.
Quinnipiac currently sitting in 6th in the MAC. Siena in 8th place. Both can finish as high as 6th. To close the season, second chance here for Jimmy Page, and he will go to the line for 2. Let's take a look at the MAC standings and what's at stake. The big thing is Iona's already clinched the #1 seed. The Gales are extremely dangerous, and both these squads here tonight trying to avoid that 8th spot. They don't want to see Iona in the quarterfinals.
Neither team would like to be in that 8-9 game. They'd like to get out of that 8-9 game. And for Siena, the tournament back up in their home court, on their home courts, they'd like to stay out of that 8-9 game.
One more free throw coming for Jimmy Page, who returned to the starting lineup here tonight. Ryan Oliver checks in for Siena, and out goes Levon Long.
Let's watch Siena change defenses here a little bit. Off of free throws. Coach Patsos likes to play some zone, likes to play some full court, and here they come.
Hurst is trapped. Gets some help from Ford Jr. And out come the Bobcats. And Sutton rolled out and tracked down by Marquise Wright of Siena. He is second in the MAC in assists. He pulls this one out. And now the leading scorer, Rob Poole, will set it up for Siena. Saints team that came in with high expectations this year, second in the preseason, but right now sitting in 8th place. 9 to shoot. It's Oliver. Off the mark from 3. Quinnipiac, Mo, the top rebounding team in the country in terms of total rebounds and margin, showing why there. But Ford off the mark from 3.
They rebound the basketball as well as any team in the country. Great size at all positions. They send 4 to the glass on offense.
We'll get into the rebounding drills that Quinnipiac has done since the early part of the season when we come back. Bobcats 1 of 8 to start. They trail by 3. To Gary Williams, Jimmy Patsos in year number 2 at Siena after a 9-year run at another MAC school, Loyola of Maryland. They moved to the Patriot League since Jimmy's departure. Jimmy came over and said it's like UConn and Maryland because Tom Moore's on the other side. They had some great battles when they were both assistants.
I got to know both of them as assistants when I was a prep school coach, and they were recruiting my guys. So I saw them on many different occasions, and both doing a great job with these programs.
Marquise Wright couldn't hit. Rebound tracked down by Evan Conti. Conti from way downtown drills the 3.
Evan Conti, long range off the bench. Quinnipiac gets a nice lift off the bench when Conti comes in. Some seniors, some experience, and some shooting.
Is their hallmark. They control the glass as well, if not better than anyone in the country.
They talk about it. They recruit to it. They bring in a lot of big bodies, and they just preach it every day in practice. Rebounding, rebounding.
Siena opened this game 3 of 4. They've missed their last 3 shots since. Over 5 minutes gone by. We're tied at 7. Levon Long draws a double. Gets denied by Harris. Shot clock at 4 now. Does Wright see it? Block shot and a shot clock violation. Saints now 0 for their last 4.
That's the kind of defensive possession you'll love if you're Tom Moore and Quinnipiac and his staff. Siena now going to try to speed them up a little sideline pressure.
Wide open look for Hurst. In and out. Tapped out to Hutton, and the Bobcats keep it alive.
Saeed Hurst just struggling here the last 5 or 6 games of the season. A little bit of fatigue, plays a lot of minutes for Quinnipiac.
This is a team that struggled from three-point range, while Siena loves to drive it. Evan Himes will have a chance at 3.
Two teams that struggle in the half court to score. One way to get easy baskets is right here. Throw the ball ahead and attack in transition. And when you attack in transition, you don't have all that perimeter size in there that Quinnipiac has in the half court.
Foul on Aaron Hutton sends Himes to the line. He's one of 8 players in Siena history with 1,200 points and 300 assists. Problem for Himes and senior Rob Poole. They played on some teams that have not achieved the success that they did under Fran McCaffrey.
They sure haven't, but Coach Patsos and the staff done a nice job. They've had a lot of injuries. Their bench is thin. They're not able to really play the way they'd like to play with that pressure consistently.
Get a look at Usman Drame, and too much for Javian Ogunyebi to handle. First foul on the Siena sophomore. It's going to be a handful, Mo. Usman Drame, the senior for Quinnipiac, MAC leader in rebounds and block shots. He is a load at 6'9".
He sure is. Big body, aggressive. Quinnipiac staff talking to them before the game. They'd like him to actually be more aggressive on the offensive end.
Dimitri Flores, number 3 in gold, in for the Bobcats. Trailing 10-7 with 6 minutes gone by. Then a leading for Hurst. Popped out. Scramble for it. Finally tied up, and this time the arrow says it stays with the Bobcats.
Saeed Hurst attacking the basket. I like that, not settling for jump shots. His shooting percentages are down here over the last 6 games, as we mentioned. So try to get yourself to the foul line if you're not shooting well. It's a great way. And here's another great way. Out of bounds underneath, an opportunity to create a basket.
Look inside to Drame. He drives and hits by Ogunyemi.
Right on cue, partner. Great opportunity out of a set play out of bounds to score. Quinnipiac, nice execution for Tom Moore and his staff.
Third made basket for the Bobcats. Back within 1. Long steps through. He's denied by Samuel Dingba. And then a loose ball foul. And it's on Ryan Oliver of Siena.
Samuel Dingba coming off the bench, giving them another long, athletic forward.
Talked about Quinnipiac, so good on the glass. Kickball will keep it with the Bobcats. But I think if you talk to Tom Moore, yes, you love what they've done leading the country. You'd also like to see a lot of those shots go in. They've struggled to score consistently in recent weeks.
They've struggled to score, and they continue to keep themselves in games because they play defense and they rebound. And we've seen that here early.
Rame draws the double. Another tie-up, and this time the arrow says Siena, and Jimmy Patso certainly likes that.
Little quick double team. Attack the ball in the post. That's a great thing to do if you're Siena. Quinnipiac has such great size. Attack the basketball. Form of a double team. Turnover. Turn over the basketball back to Siena.
Jimmy Patsos, 11 years in this conference. John Dunn at St. Peter's. 9 with one school, but you forget Jimmy was at Loyola for 9 years. He's a MAC guy through and through. But right now his big guy, Javian Ogunyemi, in some foul trouble. That's number 2 on the sophomore.
To take a charge, you've got to use your chest and move your feet. Great job by the big fella for Quinnipiac, Usman Drame, moving his feet, using his chest, and not reaching in and fouling. Siena going to pick up here again, play some full court pressure.
Aaron Hutton at the point for Quinnipiac. He's been pressed into action all year long. Gio McLean, a transfer from Community College in Westchester, New York. had some issues with his transcript, so the freshman Hutton, after playing sparingly early this season, he's got the ball now, has played major minutes. Evan Conti off the mark from 3. Jersey's pulled, a rebound again for Drame. And here comes Hutton. Another try for Conti, and this time, second time's a charm.
Evan Conti, the young man from Queens, senior, Holy Cross High School, came out shooting tonight, 2 of 3.
Played at the same high school as a guy you coached back in the day at Hofstra, Charles Jenkins.
Nice drive and dish. And with that drive, you draw 2 defenders. And Evan Conti makes shots because he's always what I call shot ready. Hands and feet ready to shoot. For those young kids watching out there, those shots go in.
Last foul was on Aaron Hutton. Poole off the inbounds. Trying to answer from 3. Long bounce. Contact. And a loose ball foul. It's on Siena.
It's interesting watching Quinnipiac for fans and people who haven't seen them throughout the year. They gang rebound. When that basketball goes up, they send 4 or 5 guys. They just want to grab that rebound, and they are as good at it as any team in the country.
Last foul on Jimmy Page. Bobcats lead the Saints 12-10 with almost 8 minutes gone by. Here at TD Bank Sports Center. Beautiful facility, opened 5 years ago here in Hampton, Connecticut. Drame is denied, but a foul. Willem Branwick, the native of the Netherlands, picks up his first. $12 minutes left in the first half.
And that speaks to how physical Quinnipiac is. They're constantly aggressive, attacking the basket. They also have 5 offensive rebounds already.
One more coming for Ousmane Drame. 13 points for the Bobcats. 9 now from their bench. And look at what this guy is doing in the MAC and around the country.
He's a double-double machine, a lefty, big lefty. Young man out of Boston, went to Marianapolis Prep for a year. Tremendous size and strength here in the MAC.
7-0 run for Quinnipiac. They lead by 4. A look to a wide open Levon Long, way off the mark from 3. And out comes Conti, who's nailed a couple of threes for Quinnipiac. Drame backs down Branwick and hits.
And there's a little mistake by the young freshman for Siena. You've got to force the lefty back to his right hand. Drame sets him up, comes back to his strong left.
9 straight points for the Bobcats. Long will drive it this time. Marquise Wright in and out. Branwick trying to follow for the board. Last touch by the Siena freshman from the Netherlands. Look at the Bobcat leaders, both seniors, Hurst and Drame. Tom Moore has leaned on these 2 in their transition from the NEC to the MAC.
And that's a reason why, once this MAC tournament comes along, Quinnipiac is a team to really watch out for, because they have seniors. They get a nice lift off their bench. As we watch Siena here continue to play little sideline trap and full court pressure. This is the old Maryland Diamond sideline trap.
Jimmy Patsos learned under Gary Williams all those years in College Park. And Gary's made some trips up to Albany to talk to the Saints.
He sure has. Let me tell you something. I could never figure out how to get the ball in against that little diamond. When I was an assistant at BC, I could never get it in. So a lot of credit to Quinnipiac. They worked on it in the shoot-around today.
Tough scouts for you.
No question.
8 to shoot for the Bobcats. Long 3 from Hurst. He is feeling it. So the Bobcats, a 12-0 run. Zaid Hurst with his first basket.
And he needed that one. 0 for 4 to start the game, has struggled. We mentioned that throughout the game on the broadcast already in the last 6 games. Nice feet set shot.
Poole a bit out of control. Way off the mark. And Siena, they've been rushed the last few minutes. And right now the Bobcats a chance to extend a 12-0 run.
Yeah, Rob Poole, unfortunately, just hasn't been healthy all year. A really dynamic player in this league.
James Ford Jr. Loose ball went through the legs of Oganyemi, and now a foul. Evan Conti, the senior, he's a glue guy. And look at the intensity from the native of Queens.
For Zaid Hurst, struggled from the floor a little bit to start this game and throughout the last couple weeks of the season. But here, you see he's got his feet set, kind of calmly takes his time. And sometimes when you're struggling a little bit, you just need to get your feet set and get one of those long shots to go in. It's almost like the weight kind of comes off your shoulders. Look for him to continue to have a big game here. He plays a lot of minutes for Quinnipiac.
Evan Conti will go to the line. He was fouled by Levon Long. That's his second on the Siena sophomore, who with over 4 fouls on average per game has been called for the most fouls in Division I. Conti off the miss. Can't hit that 3 either. Loose ball foul. They'll get James Ford Jr. on this one. Number 1 on the Quinnipiac junior. They've actually changed it. They said Ford at first, signaled it was 30. Instead, the foul's on Rob Poole, and that's number 2 on the Siena senior. Foul trouble becoming a major issue early for the Saints.
Major issue because it puts Quinnipiac at the line. And I'll tell you what that does. For a team who struggles to score in the half court, it gives them a lot of free looks, a lot of easy baskets, lets them also set their defense.
One more coming for Ford. Matched a career high with 19 points last week at Ryder. Talked to Tom Moore at shoot-around. So many close games for the Bobcats. And a big sticking point has been their three-point shooting. Feels if they can hit just a few more, they have a few more wins. They've come out firing in this one to start.
And sometimes it's that final line. It's making 1 or 2 extra shots a half. And when you're in a lot of close games, that's the difference. And that's really where Quinnipiac is. A dangerous team here in March.
And it goes to Long. Popped out. And Ford with another rebound for the nation-leading Bobcats in that department.
They just swarm the basketball, don't they? Swallow up rebounds.
Tom Moore said that first practice, it's almost become a myth. How many rebounding drills do they do? It's a lot, but the principles are instilled from before the season. And on the other side, another foul there on Levon Long.
Drive to the basket. See the foul there, the young fella getting schooled by Usman Drame, who comes off the bench with great experience, senior, knows how to get himself to the line, and Quinnipiac continues to get offensive rebounds off misses.
Rob Poole back in for Javian Oganyemi. Just picked up his 3rd foul. (16-0) run for Quinnipiac. And right now they lead by 13 with 9 and change to go in the first half.
And part of the reason Siena got out to a good start in this game is because they got some easy baskets in transition because they got defensive stops. Now they're fouling too much.
Maurice White on the drive, denied by Ford with help from Shays Daniels. Morris, crowd likes that. Extra feed for Ford Jr. Would have brought the house down here.
Crowd would have liked to see that one go in, no question. Nice extra pass. Good ball movement by Quinnipiac.
(13-point lead for the Bobcats inside of 8.5 minutes first half. Siena losers of 5 of 6 coming in. Poole on a curl, off the mark again. Long bounce taken by the Bobcats. And another foul on Levon Long. So add 1 for him. That's 3 on Long, 3 on Oganyemi. Poole with 2. And that really hurts the Saints, who are lean to begin with up front.
They sure are. Missing players, 2 players out with season-ending injuries, a thin team as it is, and foul trouble on the road against this Quinnipiac team that really forces you to play physical. Tough start here for Siena with the foul trouble.
One more coming for Justin Harris. Bobcats have opened 9 of 10 at the line as Himes and Oliver re-enter for Siena. Mention the injuries for the Saints. Brett Bisping, who Jimmy Patso sees as an MVP of this team. He goes down to the first meeting in December against Quinnipiac. So the Saints don't forget, but neither do the Bobcats. They lost that game in Albany. And right now they've scored 18 straight, and they force another turnover.
Their half-court defense, rebounding, physical play has really dominated the last several minutes of this game.
Never got it. Intercepted by Wright. Threads it through to Himes. Layup is good. Evan Himes running the floor.
Great coaching move by Jimmy Patsos and his staff. I didn't get to jump in there. They switched to zone, got a turnover, and they get themselves an easy basket in transition. Great job by Siena and Coach Patsos and staff.
Ends a drought of almost 5 minutes for the Saints.
They needed that one, to say the least.
Harris takes on Renwick. Draws the double. Oliver finally rips it away. On a kick out, Poole draws Flores in the air and is fouled. Daniel House and Texas A&M square off in the swamp against Florida. That is Super Tuesday, presented by Cree LED Lighting on ESPNU and also live on Watch ESPN. Ed Cohen back with the former Hofstra head coach Mo Cassera from Hampton, Connecticut. Quinnipiac leading Siena 25-12. Now the Bobcats, Mo, are shooting 27%, but they're 10 of 11 at the line. 9 offensive rebounds. They're plus 10 overall on the glass. Ryan Oliver trying to answer for the Saints, and he does.
I love Ryan Oliver off the bench for Siena. Young man from California, went to Northwood Mount Herman Prep School here in New England. Nice veteran, rangy shooter for the Siena Saints.
Bobcats are 6 for 22, but assists on all their makes.
And back to zone here for Siena.
First. Zone forcing some tough looks at 3 after the Bobcats started well from beyond the arc. And the Saints trying to close the gap within 11.
And if you're Siena, that's what you want. That's why you play zone. You force some long shots. You take away a little of their interior presence. And if you're Quinnipiac, you want to get into the short corner along the baseline, the foul line area, or look to maybe ball screen that zone a little bit.
Daniels back in for the Bobcats. Flores sets his feet. Head popped out. Halfway down, and a loose ball foul underneath on Shays Daniels of Quinnipiac, number 2 on the freshman.
Zone has really gotten Siena back in the game, gotten them a little bit of momentum.
Mentioned the difficulties in scouting a Gary Williams team when you were at Boston College, Jimmy Patsos when he was at Maryland. What's carried over into Siena and how they disguise their looks?
One thing Jimmy's always going to do, and Gary did when he was at Maryland for all those years, is bring a lot of toughness to his teams. They run some different offenses, different defenses, and they really fool you on defense a little bit. Some zones, some traps, some full court pressure. They do a nice job. And we see them attacking here a little bit better on offense. That defense has gotten them a little momentum.
Both coaches in this one, natives of New England. Tom Moore, of course, well-established, Worcester area, and Jimmy Patsos from Boston.
Hit it right.
Oliver, an air ball that time with some contact.
And Quinnipiac continues to dominate the glass. Everybody boxes out. Another long rebound off a long shot.
Another big game in the MAC coming up at the top of the hour on ESPN2. Gales of Iona, Jaspers of Manhattan from New Rochelle. Knocked away, and now here comes Himes off the turnover. Takes on Conti and finishes, and that's what Evan Himes does best.
Evan Himes has done that since he's been at Siena, always looking to attack the glass, try to do a little N1 there, and Siena, that zone defense, been terrific here the last couple minutes.
7 points for Himes, 6 straight points from the Saints. Conti launches, off the mark again, another offensive rebound. Flores' wild shot. And the Saints beginning to beat Quinnipiac at their own game. Right No contact there. Extra chance, Page. And Conti is stripped to the hardwood. And a foul as Jimmy Patsos hit a tizzy.
Quick rebound and throw the ball ahead. I mentioned it throughout the broadcast. Siena needs to score in transition because then they don't face the size and interior presence of Quinnipiac. See, Mr. Himes here can get in the air, little body, but boy, he really has a knack to score.
There's a reason why Jimmy Patsos is fired up. Rob Poole just picked up his third. So the trio of Oguniemi, Long, and Poole, each with three. That is huge.
It is huge, and a little bit of a mistake there by Rob Poole. A little frustration foul there, because not only does he pick up his third, but more importantly, it puts Quinnipiac back on the foul line. And Rob Poole's a guy that they need to get going. It just, because of injuries and a little bit of lack of depth from this team, he's a guy they need big numbers from.
Evan Conti converts at the line. Inside of 5 minutes, first half. Quinnipiac on top of Siena, 26-16. Both teams trying to solidify their standing in conference championship seeding. Next week, they will all head to Albany with the MAC title on the line. I'm starting to feel it. Couldn't knock that down. Snatched by Wright. And a whistle away from the basketball. It's on Zaid Hurst. And the Saints in the bonus will get a trip to the line. Marquise Wright to the stripe.
Little hustle play there. Marquise Wright, Siena beating Quinnipiac in a little of their game. Offensive rebound, get to the foul line. Now let's watch Siena here. They like to go to their 55 sideline, their 55 press, try to pick the game up a little bit again, create some easy baskets with a steal and transition.
This sophomore, who is slated to play for Jimmy Patsos at Loyola, from major energy to Siena. Second in the MAC this year in assists, behind Iona's A.J. English. Extra feed to Hurst. And now Conti. He's knocked down a couple of threes so far. Rame wants it. Hook shot. Around but out. Offensive board, put back for Harris, beating Siena on the glass. Ten points for Justin Harris. Bobcats lead by 11. Arms straight up. Harris snatches it up for the Bobcats.
Great perimeter and post defense, playing without fouling for Quinnipiac. Hands up, play without fouling.
Extra feed for Ford. Rame almost had another offensive rebound.
Nice extra pass there by Evan Conti. Passed up a good shot for a great shot.
White, offensive board, but coughed it up. And finally Ford with it. 3-on-2 for Quinnipiac. Conti, a kick out. Hurst was on the sideline, out of bounds.
Almost a little too unselfish that time.
Usually a good thing, a very good thing. But right now the Bobcats rolling. They lead by 11. Again before the semifinals.
Iona, the class of the league right now. Tim Cluse and staff done a tremendous job. And a lot of credit to Siena. They battled in that game at Iona. I know how hard it is to win there. I never did. It's a hard place to play.
Yale's winners of a couple of MAC tournaments under Tim Cluse. Made it as an at-large. Lost to BYU in the first four. Ryder last night clinched the number 2 seed and beating Monmouth on the road. A gutty win for the Bronx when you consider that 7-foot center, Matt Lopez, is done for the season. Banged his knee against the Bobcats last week. So the Bronx with a gut check victory, and they'll avoid Iona until the final.
Always like to see that after a great regular season and an unfortunate injury. Team finds a way, responds, and keeps winning. (28-17), Quinnipiac in front. Siena needs to get Rob Poole going.
Steps here on Jimmy Page. Turnover number 6 on the Saints. Willem Brandwick re-enters for Page.
Now we're going to see this little diamond pressure here, three-quarter court pressure. This is from Jimmy Patsos and Gary Williams' old Maryland bag of tricks. They look to get a quick trap.
And a foul in the front court. And it goes against Ryan Oliver, his second. Saturday at 2 Eastern, ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, continues. The top two teams in the Missouri Valley square off. Number 10, Northern Iowa, battles number 11 in the Missouri Valley. Jimmy Patsos, who's been known to draw a technical or two in his day, is called for another. Bobcats with a couple of free throws. Zaid Hurst will do the honors.
No lack of intensity over there on the Siena sidelines. Coach Patsos a little frustrated, and when his team's pressuring it, they did a nice job in that full court pressure. But then you got to play without fouling. Got to really get your hands out wide and move your feet when you're pressuring. Don't, as I always used to say, bail the other team out with a foul. So coach a little frustrated with his team. Give him a little extra motivation here in the last 2:26.
Bobcats are 13 of 15 at the line after the technical on Siena's head coach. You once sat next to him during a game in which his team was actually playing.
He's been known to get up and move around a little bit, and certainly one of the more animated guys you'll ever see in college basketball, but love his intensity. And I know everybody there up at Albany loves his intensity, and so does this league. Great character and great intensity for the MAC.
Officials reviewing a clock issue on the far side with 2:26 to go. Bobcats leading this one by 13. After the touch foul, Jimmy getting in the ear of Louis Andrikakis.
I got to talk to Louis before the game here. He was happy to see me. You know, I said, hey, Louis, you were never happy to see me when I was on the sideline. I'm sitting over here in the broadcast booth, and you were thrilled to see me.
You're in safe quarters now.
There's the play we were talking about. Ryan Oliver, got to really move your feet and play with your hands out wide when you're pressuring, play without fouling. Very important for Siena as their bench is thin, as we've already mentioned, and they're already in a lot of foul trouble.
They're taking a look at that high elbow there as Hurst came down the floor. And now we'll get the explanation from Louis Andrikakis.
Got it.
Jimmy Patsos asked the referees to take a look. They declared no flagrant on any potential elbows. So the technical leads to 2 free throws, and now the initial foul on Oliver sends Hurst to the line. And we always appreciate when Louis Andrikakis and the officials come over to explain their ruling to us.
Zaid Hurst, interesting story. You know, he's at the foul line here, a guy who plays almost 37, 38 minutes a game for them. He was a big guy and played the 5 position growing up in basketball. So he's really still learning. Tom Moore, really interesting talking to him after their shoot around today. He's a guy that played on the inside and is really still learning the perimeter game. He thinks his best basketball as a guard is still ahead of him.
Kids outgrew him back in the day when he was the big guy. Likened him to a guy that Tom Moore had at UConn when he was an assistant. Kevin Freeman played on that 99 national championship team.
Guy who could play multiple positions, and everybody around here on campus today just loves Zaid, just named first team All-Academic NABC.
Oliver off the mark, rebound for Drame. Tom Moore then said he's the anti-Charlie Villanueva.
That was a good comparison. And by the way, how many times have we said rebound Drame? He just seems to always be around the basketball.
Officially 6 boards for the MAC's leader. Harris had a chance. Hurst with an offensive board. He'll go to the line. Bobcats showing why they lead the country in total rebounds, along with the rebounding margin, almost 45 a game. They have not been out-rebounded in any game this season. Latest foul on the native of the Netherlands, Branwick.
And last year, they led the nation in offensive rebounding margin. So this is something that they continue to talk about, they continue to recruit to. Tom Moore and his staff also saying to us that they actually recruit and play with two big guys. A lot of teams today play 4 out, 1 in, and that means 4 perimeter players and 1 post guy. Quinnipiac still plays with 2 post guys, and that's the way that they continue to recruit and rebound.
Here's how they do it. First in those 3 categories. Second, offensive rebounds, 16 per game. They already have 13 tonight. White tracks it down, and now Wright with the basketball. The drive on Drame, not enough English on it. Branwick is then fouled on the rebound. He'll go to the line for 2.
Well, and Branwick had 12 in their last game against Quinnipiac a while ago. Nice-looking young freshman. Nice body, plays very hard.
Coming up on the ESPNU halftime report, a Missouri Valley showdown to preview Northern Iowa and Wichita State. And the rest of the slate on Saturday, including Texas and number 8 Kansas, Duke and Syracuse, plus Arizona and Utah. Top 15 battle in the Pac-12.
There are no high major teams across the country that want to see Wichita State or Northern Iowa on the other side of their name when Selection Sunday comes here in a couple weeks.
Wichita State, 31 consecutive home wins entering their latest matchup. Jarred loose by Wright. He's got it for Siena. Looking outside, he airmailed White. And it goes back to the Bobcats with 80 seconds to go in the first half.
Love the full court pressure here by Siena, though, trying to create some extra possessions, some extra baskets for themselves, doing a nice job. Just throwing a little bit too high here, trying to make that extra pass.
Kickball will keep it with Quinnipiac. Game of runs. Bobcats had that big 16-0 spurt. Saints then pulled a bit closer, but right now Quinnipiac in the midst of another big spurt. 8-0 run.
Important minute plus here for Siena. Try to get a couple stops, play without fouling, get a little momentum into halftime.
Oliver fouls Harris again.
Now watch the throw into the post. Double team comes because of the size and presence. Unselfish play. Usman drops it off. And Justin Harris just seems to be very active, takes advantage of the double team right here. The big senior from Paramus Catholic. Quinnipiac has a lot of seniors. Nice bench play. If they can shoot the ball well, watch out for the Bobcats in Albany.
James Ford Jr. back in for Flores. Himes re-enters for Siena in place of Page. Last foul was on Ryan Oliver. 4 guys for Siena with 3 first-half fouls. It's going to be interesting to see how they work their rotation after halftime. All those fouls have led to free throws. Quinnipiac 18 for 21 this half. .45 seconds to go first half. 35-18 Quinnipiac. 9 to shoot. Himes blows by Conti. Drop off Branwick. Doesn't go. Tap down to Oliver. Couldn't hang on, and now it's Hurst. Takes on Wright and lays it in.
And that's where you see the size and strength of Quinnipiac around the basket, playing without fouling, protecting that rim, and throwing it out for a quick and easy run out.
You mentioned no one wants to face Quinnipiac next week. For Siena, just a week too early at this rate. Final 6 seconds, and Wright is fouled on his way to the cup. It's on James Ford Jr. Number 2 on the junior.
Now, you see Quinnipiac there on defense, playing straight up. As a coach, you love to see that because there's a little contact in their physical play, but when you keep your hands straight up and down, more often than not, you're going to get away with no foul call there, and it leads to a quick run out.
Wright earns himself one more. Sophomore led the MAC in assists last year with 199, but he's coming off a tough game against Manhattan. 4 points on 1 of 11 shooting. Timeout Tom Moore, the timeout that doesn't carry over past halftime. His team leading 30 attempt, averaged a double-double last year, and yet with guys like Drame easily there to keep the legacy going. Knocked away by White, taken by Himes. Himes leans in, doesn't get the bounce, and Branwick doesn't either at the buzzer. So the Bobcats dominant throughout the first half. Harris led the way with 12, perfect at the line, and spurred first 20 minutes.
Second chance points, rebounds, and free throws. Those are 3 things that the Bobcats dominated in the first half.
Siena was 7 for 30, 23%, 0 for 7 from 3. And of course, in loads of foul trouble. Daniels there with the offensive rebound. And fouls coming down with it. And it's on Rob Poole. Speaking of that foul trouble, that's number 4 on their leading scorer.
He just hasn't been able to get going. Combination of injuries, foul, playing a little bit out of position here with the injuries that they've had throughout the year.
Rob Poole, the kind of guy among the top 10 on Siena's all-time scoring list. In some ways underappreciated. An loud guy, has played through a couple of difficult seasons. He was actually brought in by Fran McCaffrey. And right now takes his seat with 4 fouls. No stopping this guy, Justin Harris. What a strong first half with 12 points. Hit all 8 of his free throws. Here's a look. Right too strong. Tapped on down and taken by Hutton. Hutton leaves it off. Daniels denied. Nice block there by LaVon Long. White leaves it for the trailer. Himes. Strong take. He'll be at the line for 2.
Evan Himes, even though he's small in stature, has a real unique ability to get to the foul line, and that's what they need to continue to do. Try to get some easy baskets or get to the foul line in transition. Good block on defense there, and Siena needs to continue to push the ball, get out, don't play against that half-court set defense from Quinnipiac, and then get to the foul line. What this also does, set their full-court defense, maybe a couple opportunities for a trap, and Quinnipiac has not handled that full-court pressure very well.
You mentioned how important it is for Siena to get to the line as Drame re-enters in place of Daniels. Siena averaging 18 free throws made per game. That is 4th in the country.
They get to the foul line a lot. They didn't and weren't able to do it here in the first half. They need to really make a conscious effort of getting to the foul line in the second half to get back in this game.
Himes 0 for 2. This is going the other way. Foul on Drame.
Little push off there, and you can see Quinnipiac doesn't like that full court pressure, and Siena not able to do it quite as much as they'd like to. Coach Patsos was telling me before the game because of their lack of depth.
Himes weaves through and hits. Evan Himes with 9 points. Siena enters this game currently in 8th place. Quinnipiac in 6th. Ed Cohen, Mo Cassera, our entire crew here from Hamden, Connecticut. Bracket Builder Week here on ESPNU. Drame denied by Oganyemi, taken by Oliver, ripped it away, and then is tied up. And that's the second foul in the last minute on Usman Drame, the team's 3rd.
What a defensive possession by Oganyemi. Forced the big fella back to his weak hand, his right hand, played straight up and down, played without fouling. Tremendous post defense for Siena.
Top 6 in the MAC. Now the top 5 are already in place. The buys have been claimed. Canisius, the last one to secure one. So Quinnipiac at best, along with Siena, can finish 6th. And Marquis Strike trying to lead the Saints a bit closer. First 4 points this half for Siena.
Waldorf, Maryland product. Jimmy Patsos and the staff recruit that Maryland belt area so well.
Buzzer ducks in and scores. And we'll have a chance at 3 on the foul by Ryan Oliver.
Marquise Wright, use a little ball screen action right here. Get into the teeth of that defense. And a nice finish. And Justin Harris. Great footwork for the big fella from Paramus Catholic, New Jersey high school power. What a powerful guy.
No denying what he's done in this game. Now with 15 points, he's 9 of 9 from the foul line. Ranrick re-enters in place of Oliver, who now sits like Rapool with 4 fouls.
And what's happened to Siena is not only are they a little undermanned just with guys out for season-ending injuries, but they've got guys playing out of position, which creates a lot of foul trouble.
Marquise Wright has to scoop it up, and now it's Oganyemi. Very quiet in the first half with 3 fouls. Contact, no foul on Harris. And out comes Hurst. Hurst pulls up. Short that time. Tip up as Drame tried to slam it. And he's called for a technical by Gene Steratore for hanging on the rim.
Gene Steratore called that from behind the play. You see there, you're allowed to hang on the rim if a player's in danger or you think you're going to get injured. Clearly, the officials felt no need to do that right there. Nobody underneath him. Technical foul.
Little posterity from the big fella.
You know, if I could run up there and grab the rim and just pull it down, I think I would do that, maybe take a technical foul.
It's a good feeling for a former point guard, right?
Yeah, a feeling I never had, I can tell you that.
Tom Moore gets the explanation once again. Now, Wright was lined up to shoot the free throws. The initial call was a T, and now we'll get the explanation. Thanks to Josh White, one of the officials, for coming over. No technical foul, Mo.
One of the things they look for in that is, do you do a chin-up? Do you actually pull yourself up on the rim? And they decided he didn't there once they reviewed it. And they did feel that there was a body underneath there. So once they look at it a second time, the officials talked about it and decided no technical foul.
Big thing is, he was looking down around him to see if anyone was below him in the paint. Oganyemi the switch and gets the bounce. 6 points now for Javion Oganyemi.
Oganyemi, nice strong move coming back to his right hand.
Conti off the mark. Long bounce out to Wright. Siena running, and Wright steps through and lays it in. Bro cutting for the finish.
Little quick Euro step to the basket.
9 points for Marquise Wright. 8-3 Siena run to start the half. Drama was denied. Wright so good at controlling tempo as Siena continues to chip away down by 12. Long draws the double. Siena 7 and 11 in MAC play coming in, trying to snap a 3-game slide, but it's coughed up by Wright. The other way, leaves it for Conti. He's denied, but a foul on Wright from behind.
A little too casual with the basketball here. Leads to a Quinnipiac run out. And Quinnipiac, what they do really well is they share the basketball. They really are. They're an unselfish team. They'll give it up in transition. Most important for Quinnipiac here is to get to the foul line, give themselves a chance to set their half-court defense. When they're in the half-court and Siena has to face their half-court defense, they're really tough, and Siena's really struggling.
Evan Conti now with 8 points. And Quinnipiac, if they don't get a bucket, more than likely they're going to the line. 20-plus attempts in the first half, and now Conti 2 for 2, and the lead's back up to 14.
And Conti and Drame give them such a lift off the bench. Not only are they veteran guys who've played a lot of basketball, but they can both score and dominate a game on defense.
Not too many teams can bring the conference's rebounding leader off the bench.
That's an incredible stat.
Harris hand straight up. Oganyemi denied. Last touched by the Bobcats. It stays with Siena. Here on the road, Jimmy Patsos' squad down by 14 in Hamden. A lot of excitement when it's these two teams meeting in MAC play, Quinnipiac and Siena. Saints won the first meeting this year in Albany, shot over 50% after halftime. But Mo, going back to last year, they went to overtime in Albany. That game won by Quinnipiac. And then on the road, Siena won by 2 here in Hamden. Blocked shot, and then Hutton raced a couple of rows into the seats trying to save it, and it's a shot clock violation.
A lot of passion and energy in this rivalry. These two teams really battling each other. And what a great league. So many good teams in this league. So many good coaches.
Loose ball foul. And it's on Zaid Hurst of Quinnipiac. Let's go back to the block and the save.
Rim protection. Quinnipiac has great interior presence and great hustle play there. Siena, on the other hand, again, that full court pressure really bothers Quinnipiac because of their size. Siena's done a nice job of creating some extra possessions for themselves.
Long with a look. A long look, and it's taken by Hutton.
And it's been a long night for three. 0 for 9 for the Saints from the three-point line.
On the other side, different story for the Bobcats. Conti with his 3rd tray in the 4th for the Bobcats.
He shot that one from Bayside. The young man from Queens having a nice senior effort here for the Bobcats.
17-point lead, long off the mark. Everything tough for Siena for the most part here tonight. While Hutton leads Quinnipiac down the floor. Harris trying to kick it out. He gave it up to Himes. Himes straight to the basket. They let him go for 2.
He is a finisher, boy. He can really finish in transition.
11 points for Himes and an offensive foul. It's going the other way. Justin Harris. Call for his first.
A lot of credit to Siena. They continue to battle. Both teams playing really hard here. And if you're Siena, you're down 15. You got to say, hey, at the 10-minute mark, let's try to have this thing around 10 points, maybe 9 or 10 points. And then, you know, that's the way you got to chip away at it here. You got to break it up in 5-minute spurts.
Saints have already forced 4 turnovers this half, and a whistle away from the basketball. Evan Conti of Quinnipiac is called for the foul. That's number 2 on the senior from Queens, as you said.
I've mentioned that a few times.
You're a Long Island guy.
Right down in my backyard there.
Off the bounce, Oliver drains it.
Ryan Oliver, 37% from the 3 this year. Nice in-between play there. Came out of the great Northfield Mount Herman prep school program. Spike Albright was his prep school teammate at Michigan. Point guard. That was a heck of a team they had.
They were shooters indeed. Oliver began the season shooting about 70% from 3. But Drame, so much of what he gets is inside. He'll have a chance at the more traditional three-point play.
Drive into the teeth of the defense, and what that is, makes 2 defenders close out, throw it into the post. So instead of shooting a quick long shot, they throw it into Usman Drame, and he just has a knack for finishing. Boy, he doesn't get too flustered, does he? Doesn't show any emotion, just plays hard. What a great player to be able to bring off the bench for Tom Moore and his staff.
Long back on the bench for Siena now with 4 fouls. That's what this guy will do to you. Usman Drame now with 9 points. Cool customer from Boston, Massachusetts. Did not play well. He fouled out the first meeting against Siena. Different story right now.
Really is a guy that has 75 blocks on the season. Plays nice post defense and gives his team a real presence in the backcourt.
White denied. It's Drame again. Conti. 3-pointer. And a foul on Himes.
Block on defense, right on cue. That backline defense, throw the ball ahead in transition. And I don't know if we mentioned it, but the young man from Queens loves to shoot it in transition. Evan Conti having an evening here for the Bobcats.
Four threes for Conti. Largest lead for Quinnipiac by 20. Wright attacks and banks it in. Marquise Wright into double figures with 11.
Marquise Wright keeps coming at you and coming at you.
Doesn't bounce for Hurst. Poole there for the rebound. Wright darts to the rim. Not that time. Another rebound for Ousmane Dramé. Number 10 for the MAC leader in rebounds. Nice pass forward in the finish for Hurst.
Unselfish play by the Bobcats. You can tell they're having a little fun tonight. Evan Conti pumping his fist. You know, he was that way all day, even in the shoot-around. You could just tell sometimes that senior confidence just comes through.
Oganyemi gets the rebound, denied. Dingba got back for the block. And look at the energy from the interior for the freshman from Cameroon.
Block here, Samuel Dingba just closing out Salisbury Prep School product, also the same prep school that produced Zaid Hurst.
Tom Moore, a guy who's worked the AAU circuit, his time with UConn, his 8 years with Quinnipiac, goes back to his days as the head coach of Worcester State. You were at Worcester Prep a bit later after that, so you know that enclave of Massachusetts as well as anyone.
And they're right there on the staff with him. Sean Doherty, Eric Eaton, Worcester guys have been with him a long time.
Conti again. Tipped up by Dingba, but taken by Wright. Kick out for Himes. And Siena gets the three-pointer. Evan Himes with 14.
And they needed that one to go. Slow the pace down here a little bit as they fall back into some zone. Try to take away that interior presence of the Bobcats.
Saints missed their first 9 threes, now 1 of 10 from beyond the arc. Conti pulls up and banks it in.
Some days it's just your night. Drive into the middle of that defense, pull up, jump shot, nice finish there off the backboard.
Conti has scored 18, and the lead back to 19 for the Bobcats. Cool, nice touch.
There's the guy they need to get going. Hopefully he can get healthy as they head into the MAC tournament. You know, he's one of 5 active players, 500 rebounds, 200 threes, 200 assists, and 100 steals. Those are some amazing stats for a guy who's played a lot of minutes at Siena.
Those were his first points. Puts him in perspective just how valuable he is. 4 cans of 3 for the Bobcats, and that's been a story throughout the evening.
Making that extra pass, stepping into your shot, 1-2 step, as I call it. Nice in-rhythm three-pointer.
The 6th for Quinnipiac. Hurst to the rim. Got it to drop. Block shot and a foul. How about the pace here, Mo?
Evans in hockey, and Quinnipiac has built a beautiful facility up here on this beautiful mountain here in Connecticut.
Evan Himes goes to the line for Siena. Already scored 14 points for the Saints. Bobcats in their second year in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference after a long run in the NEC, became part of Division I in 1998-1999. And Tom Moore's team, tied for 3rd last year, speaks volumes about how difficult this league can be at the mid-major level. They were 14-6 last season in conference and still in a tie for 3rd. Finally, it's pulled down by Dramé after the steal. Hurst leans in, and that's been the touch for the Bobcats. They have owned this game so far.
Even when Siena gets another steal off that pressure, they just can't finish, and that just speaks to the presence of defense that the back line of the Bobcats is. They just contest every shot.
Himes wants it again. He's had the green light from the start. Evan Himes drains the three. 18 points for the senior. Drame, here comes help. Hutton on a kick out. Hurst, another offensive rebound. The 15th for the Bobcats. Daniels strong to the rim. Denied. Poole might have gotten a piece. And traveling here on Drame. Tom Moore doesn't like it with Daniels writhing in some pain.
Two offensive
to the first meeting in Morgantown, won by the Bears.
Talk about rebounding. I've had Baylor a few times this year, and Rico Gathers individually one of the better rebounders I've seen in college basketball in a long time. And I'll tell you, Baylor is a tremendous team and going to be a very tough out in the NCAA tournament. So is West Virginia. That is truly a game to watch.
Some great resume-building wins for the Mountaineers in conference play. Meanwhile, both these squads trying to solidify their standing in the MAC championship next week. And right now, it's been all Quinnipiac as Hurst hits again.
Important finishes here for Isaiah Hurst as he struggled over the last several games, at least percentage-wise. Got some nice looks around the basket tonight. He plays a ton of minutes for the Bobcats.
Ogunyemi stripped. That was Ford with the steal.
Ogunyemi just hasn't been able to get in rhythm, but combination of the presence and size of Quinnipiac, but also the foul trouble tonight.
Contact away from the basketball. Willem Brandwick. And the explanation from Louis Andrikakis, guy who used to officiate your games. And he picks up the foul, getting tangled up there with Justin Harris.
Good to see Louis a few times over here at the desk tonight. And the young fella, William Brandwick, just getting a little bit of senior education here.
Yes.
In the MAC.
Maurice White re-enters for Siena. Out goes Evan Himes. Both these teams losers of 3 straight coming in. Bobcats will close against Manhattan on Sunday. Siena closes at Monmouth. And after the block shot, Drame is fouled. And it goes against Javion Ogunyemi. That's number 4 on the sophomore.
Mentioned a second ago, Ogunyemi just hasn't been able to get in a rhythm. You know, last game against Manhattan, he was 8 for 9, career high 18 points. Played very well over their last 5 or 6 games, averaging over 13 points a game. But tonight just hasn't been able to get a real constant rhythm going.
That rhythm's been missing for Siena. You could say the turning point, as Conti is called for the foul, was in that first meeting in early December. Brett Bisping, they lose him for the season with a dislocated toe. Hopefully we'll have him for an extra year when he applies for a red shirt. But this Siena team picked 2nd in the MAC preseason poll. And right now sitting in 8th, 7-11. Last year, winners in the CBI. And that has not carried over into this season, even with the senior leadership of Rob Poole.
And this is a team, you know, Siena program that's been to 5 NCAA tournaments, 4 NITs. You mentioned the CBI championship last year. This is a program that wants to win, expects to win, had a lot of tradition, had some great coaches come through there. You know, you think, you know, Jimmy Patsos is replacing Coach McCaffrey and Paul Hewitt and so many different guys who've been there. And, you know, listen, being good, it's also being a little bit lucky. They've just had a lot of injuries this year.
Here comes the trap on Hutton. Throws it away. So that's what Siena does best, and they'll get the ball back, but trailing by 21.
And what Quinnipiac does not do well, that full court pressure really bothers them. If they can't keep the game in a half court, they'll struggle. A lot of credit to Siena to keep battling here.
Right on the drive. Goes against Drame. Tough shot. Arm long tracks it down with 8 and change to go. White leading through. Offensive board, Ogunyemi. Shots just not falling for the Saints. Follow the bouncing ball. Hutton does. Lost it again. Ball is tumbling. Down goes Conti trying to save it. He's grimacing a little bit. Hope that he's okay. scoring almost 9 points above his average. Drame in a double. Conti passed up a look. And now a kick to a wide open Hutton. With patience there and an offensive board for Harris. Now it's Conti. It's been a rebounding clinic right there. Ford couldn't stay in bounds.
And so much of rebounding is effort, and so much of it is positioning. They constantly look to get themselves in position. You see a lot of extra efforts tonight. Both teams playing very hard through every play. A lot of sore bodies after this game.
No doubt. Sore to begin with this time of year.
It is. These are the long days. Practices are a little bit shorter because you're playing more games and obviously trying to get your team not only physically but mentally healthy heading into postseason tournament.
Rob Poole's been quiet, not there. Second bucket for the senior, now with 4 points.
Paul VI High School, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, part of a great high school program and really had a tremendous career at Siena.
Committed to Fran McCaffrey back in 2010. Rob Poole saying earlier this week whether he could have gone to a place like Duke or Minnesota, wouldn't trade anything for his experience at Siena.
And what passion and fans they have at Siena. Great basketball tradition.
This is going the other way. Armbar, Rob Poole, and he has fouled out with 6:44 to go.
Coach Patsos going to take a second here to bring his team in. You can see Rob Poole a little bit frustrated. Talking to their staff before the game a little bit, you know, they kind of felt like, hey, if we could get a little momentum here and we're hosting the league tournament, you know, they have such great fans up there. Get out of that 8-9 game maybe, and even if they aren't, you know, just got to win that first game, and then you never know what can happen on their home court.
Let's take a look at Poole's latest foul.
You see this little push off there. Anytime you push off, and if you raise your arm up, it's always going to get called. You got to be a little more subtle there and keep it a little bit lower.
Foul trouble plagued Siena in the first half. 4 players with 3 fouls apiece. This will stay with the Bobcats, knocked away from Hurst. But Siena, entering this game, had a chance to finish between 6th and 8th with a win. By losing here today, if they can't come back from 19 down, they could fall to as low as 9. Which would put them in that potential matchup with Iona in the quarterfinals. Another offensive board for Drame. In it goes to Ford, and he's fouled. Sandwiched by Long and Oganyemi.
2 shots, man.
His foul on Javion Oganyemi. That's his 5th. So he is fouled out. It was going to be one of the 2. Each had 4. It's Oganyemi. Sophomore has been so good down the stretch for Siena. And you know what? They have gone to the scorer's table and reversed it. So Oganyemi stays and Levon Long exits. So it's Long who's fouled out.
Oganyemi gets to stay in the game. Big body, 6'8", 240. Local product for Siena. Big time recruit there. Nice physical presence.
.6:23 left. Quinnipiac back up by 20. So if you're Siena right now, this team very thin with their rotation. Losers are 3 straight coming in. But the MAC tournament is on your home floor for the first time in 5 years. So what stands in the way for Siena to regroup and make a run between now and next week?
Well, I think this is an opportunity, and Coach Patsos will do it. A couple small victories here. Find a couple small victories. Play a couple young guys who haven't played as much. Maybe look at a couple different offenses, a couple different sets. Try to find a couple positives here as you're heading in. You see Coach Patsos continue to clap his hands here, keep coaching, keep teaching. Find a couple small victories in this last 6 minutes to get yourself a little momentum as you head into March.
Oganyemi, who thought he was done moments ago, now at the line. entered this game averaging over 13 over his last 5, shooting 72% during that stretch. But it's a much different matchup going against a guy like Harris and certainly Drama here tonight. Offensive board right after the missed free throw. Maurice White puts it in.
And those are the types of little efforts and little victories here you got to look for every last 6 minutes for Siena.
Hurst, strong take, beat White to the rim.
And that's where we see Hurst, his ability to play as a bigger player. He was a forward, almost a center when he was a young guy growing up. And he's really good around the basket. If he can get hot from the perimeter and play well and make some threes, they're going to be tough to beat.
20 points for Zaid Hurst. He's 7 of 14. Branwick drains the 3 for Siena.
Little ball screen in what we call a roll-up. Branwick rolls up from the bottom or the baseline. Rolls up. Tough to defend. Nice 3 for the young fella.
Drame tried to reverse it in. 5 and change to go. Siena looking to push. Down by 18. It's right. Circles the paint and scoops it in. Timeout, Jimmy Petzer.
Staffs before the game, they feel like there's several teams that, given the right first round victory, could win, maybe even win the whole tournament. So a lot of interesting basketball here to play in the MAC.
The buys are secured, the 5 in the first round. Iona, Manhattan, Ryder, Monmouth, and Canisius. Quinnipiac on the outside of that. Race for 6th. And another offensive rebound taken by Drame.
How many times have we said that tonight?
Too many for Siena's liking. There's a reason why they lead the country in that category. Free throws coming up for the Bobcats. Ed Cohen, former Hofstra head coach Mo Cassera, and our entire crew here on Bracket Builder Week presented by Dish. After this, we'll get you to action from the Mid-American Conference, Ohio and Akron. Quinnipiac, the top rebounding team in the country. James Ford Jr. back at the line after their latest board. And Mo, both these teams a bit disappointing this season. Both were picked in the top 5 before the year began. Inconsistency down the stretch. We're right now trying to build some momentum before they hit the MAC championship, where it's anyone's game next week. And while Iona is the team to beat, they've already locked up the #1 seed. A lot of other teams feel that they can take on just about anybody.
They sure do, and I think Quinnipiac, with their depth and their size, certainly one of those teams.
How about Branwick on the slam?
Branwick has been nice off the bench. Nice young-looking body for Siena. Made a 3, tip dunk. Nice job off the bench for Jimmy Patsos.
Inside of 4 minutes, Quinnipiac is led by as many as 23 here at the TD Bank Sports Center. Opened in 2009. That's out of control there. Taken by Drame. Harris, another offensive board. In a pile of green jerseys, a tie-up. And the arrow says, back to Siena. Timeout in the Nutmeg State. Bobcats on the verge of another win. Not brothers, contrary to popular belief, even if they're coaching brothers. Tom Moore in his 8th year leading Quinnipiac. Longtime assistant to Jim Calhoun. Right there, missed alley-oop. White on the follow will go to the line with 3:29 to go, but there is certainly familiarity on that Bobcat bench. Tom Moore from UConn. He has Scott Burrell, a former Husky, on his staff as well. And from the top seat to the man standing, almost identical as we look at their rebounding numbers tonight relative to what they've done all year. 51 boards for the Bobcats here this evening.
51 rebounds, and on the season coming into this game, they had 432 rebounds to 279 offensive rebounds. It's just an incredible stat against the other teams that they play against. So they just continue to rebound the basketball and pound teams on the glass.
22 offensive boards, 18 second chance points.
Nice little set play there before for Siena out of the timeout. Missed the alley-oop, but got to the foul line. Quinnipiac going to take a little time here, try to catch their breath.
Coming up next on ESPNU, we'll get you to Ohio and Akron. That game already underway on ESPN3. Here comes White for Siena in traffic. Ogunyemi denied by who else? It's Drame. The big fella throws it down, an exclamation point for the Bobcats.
Cool and calm. Even on a dunk, he's cool and calm. Dominating performance tonight, partner.
19th double-double, Mo, for Drame. Now with 11 points and 15 rebounds.
And he came off the bench. He came off the bench.
Leads the nation with 19 double-doubles. And Hines straight to the rim. Timeout, Jimmy Patsos. In the face of Louis Andrikakis, the referee. But with Jimmy, whether you're
Coach Moore and staff talking a little bit about how that's helped them recruit New York, because they do play Manhattan and they play Iona. So nice fit here for Quinnipiac.
Turnover on the inbounds, gives it back to Siena with 2 and change to go.
They're going to have to work on press offense. That pressure defense from Siena has bothered Quinnipiac every time they're able to score and set their full court defense in this 55 defense, 55 sideline, as Coach Patsos runs so well. Very tough to play against.
It's been solid this half. Strong take. Couldn't finish it. And last touch by Siena. Well, you mentioned Quinnipiac now in the MAC after a long run in the Northeast Conference. A lot of schools around the country dealing with life in this world of realignment, playing in new leagues. Sometimes a step up, sometimes an even switch. But in your eyes, what's been the biggest change for the Bobcats in these 2 years since leaving the NEC?
Well, it's a little bit different league, some different type of players. Obviously, the depth here in the middle of the pack in the MAC, very strong. The NEC's had some very good teams as well. Now, sometimes what happens is Evan Conti's a perfect example, recruited into the NEC and has had to kind of transform, and instead of maybe being a starter in the NEC, he's an off-the-bench guy here at Quinnipiac, perfect example. So a little bit of a step up, a little bit more depth in the MAC, but the NEC, St. Francis, New York, having a tremendous year.
Long time coming for Glenn Breaka and the Terriers. Have never been to the NCAA tournament, and now it's a matter of taking care of business in the madness of March.
What a nice job they've done down in Brooklyn. Glenn Breaka, Omar Garcia, their athletic director, tremendous job, St. Francis.
Hines for Siena. Couldn't knock that one down. Tapped out by White, but taken by Drame with 1:35 to go here in Hamden, Connecticut. Quinnipiac is led by as many as 23. Evan Conti taken away by Himes. Here comes White. Blocked by Ford. Came all the way down.
James Ford Jr. I've been waiting to say that all game. Great basketball name, James Ford Jr. Nice block in transition. Stay with the play. I call this multiple efforts. Change, sprint back, block a shot. Great multiple effort, extra energy. James Ford Jr.
We talked about the rebounding, the free throw shooting, better from 3 in this game for Quinnipiac. How about the 13 block shots?
They have such an interior presence, and they bring depth and bodies off the bench. See Samuel Dingbach come in, and he's another guy off the bench, adds some length and some shot blocking ability.
Drame gets a rest, and perhaps for the rest of the night with 1:19 to go. Likewise for Justin Harris at the start once again. He was strong. Harris in this one scoring 15 points along with 9 rebounds. And when you have a guy doing that, you can bring Drame off the bench. Good poise here by Conti. As Tom Moore gets set to empty some of his reserves into the game. Emmanuel Binyam, Samir Khalil, Greg Tarso all enter for the first time for the Bobcats, but this guy, another double-double for Ousmane Dramé.
Ousmane Dramé, effective around the basket, taking his time, coming back to his left hand. Such a advantage for a young big guy, left-handed. He can block shots, and he's got great poise. He never hurries. Double-double off the bench.
Binyam on the take. Batted around and finally snatched up by the Saints, who have emptied their bench as well. Ryan Kelly had that rebound. Oliver draws his man up and will go to the line for three. Foul on Greg Tarsa of Quinnipiac. Tied for first in the country, 15-15 here tonight.
And 4 of 11 from the field. As Coach Moore mentioned and we talked about throughout the broadcast, as they head into March and head into the MAC tournament, if you turn that 4 for 11 into, you know, an 8 for 11 or something like that, they can beat anybody in this league. And he's capable of doing that.
Yeah. Those are the guys who make major difference in the conference tournament. Tom Moore wants to see the guard play short up a bit before they try to win 4 games in 4 days in Albany, but no doubt they have the core up front.
Taking care of the basketball and ability to handle some pressure is going to be key for Quinnipiac. And for Siena, get back home to your home court. Stay positive, keep working. Coach Patzo's going to keep coaching and, you know, hopefully get a little healthy. If Rob Poole can get a little healthy and have a hot game, they can beat anybody in this league.
Siena falls to 7-12 in conference play with this defeat. Quinnipiac on the verge of their 9th conference win. You can count the basket right there. Goaltend, and now a chance at the line for Maurice White with the game in hand for Quinnipiac.
Little accidental grab of the net.
Yep.
Now, that's what I used to grab, the net. I was never able to grab the rim, as we mentioned earlier in the game. I would grab the net. I could do that.
The 7-foot net, the 10-foot net. Strong performance from the Bobcats, who win it here at home over Siena. A regular season split between these two. 73-63 the final. Coming up next, college basketball continues with Ohio and Akron. For Mo Cassera and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen.